Yo, what up, y'all? Y'all know who this is, man. This is your man, Woo the House Cat, hanging out with Bill Staxx, the Bill Staxx podcast. You heard? Check them out.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Woo. Do you end up staying in that club for a while? Like, where does your life go from there?
Well, no. I explained to you. That was my first club. The second club is the club I stayed with for 8 or 9 years. This is my last one that I just left in July. This past July, I left that club. So I've only been in two. My first one and the second one, the Outlaw Club.
What did you leave in the club look like?
I don't really want to get into club business.
Now,
But
you don't need to explain all that, why you left or any of that, but like,
no. Yeah. What did it look like? I don't think any club. I'm gonna be general. I'm gonna be generic. I don't think any club wants to see a member leave unless you do something for them to put you out. And even then, they don't want to. You know, they want to see you go, but there's all right.
did you ever think you would leave?
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I said I'm gonna bleed these colors until I die. I'm gonna bleed these colors until I die. In fact, when I left, um, it was really emotional for me. I don't want to say I shed a tear, but I shed a tear. I did, and you know, eh, people are not gonna believe it. They're gonna be like, "Why did you leave? Then you shouldn't have left." But you're not in my shoes. You don't know the situation. You don't know how I felt, so you can't judge me. You can speak about what you would do, but you can't speak about what I would do because you're not me. It's that simple. Um, I'm being honest. I shed a tear. It feels like part of you's dying. When you really love something, you really love something that much, and it doesn't love you like you love it. It feels like part of you dies when you have to leave it alone. So yeah, it was emotional for me. It was hard.
A
It
lot of
wasn't an
people,
easy
these
decision.
these clubs are their whole identity. It's their life. They
Absolutely,
wake up, they
absolutely,
they ride with the club, they call them
absolutely.
after work. Like,
Without question. There's you ride next to guys that you build this bond with and that you would literally die for. Literally. I'm not making it up. That you would literally die with them. And now all of a sudden you're leaving them. Because they're staying in the club and you're out of the club. So obviously they can't have that same kind of contact with you anymore. So you're leaving it feels like you're leaving a part of yourself. So yeah, if you do it the right way, it can be being in a club could be an extremely powerful situation. You like you said, you become part of the club. It becomes part of who you are. Even when you don't have a cut on, it's still part of everything you do. You're proud to be a member of this organization. Without a cut on, you hold your head high. I'm still this XYZ club. So yeah, it could be emotional, man.
now, what made you want to get into creating content? Because a lot of
Um,
people that were involved with clubs don't ever come out and start talking about that type of lifestyle.
well, I didn't, and I don't necessarily want to now. I owned a hip hop. Back in the day, I owned a hip hop magazine. Called the Hip Hop Diaries. And I had 2 million daily subscribers. I had 2 million subscribers. Right, I would have 1 million and something daily readers, and I had that for about 10 years. So being in front of the camera, I did celebrity interviews. You can YouTube me, Woo the House Cat, celebrity interviews all over. I did that for a minute. So I'm used to being in front of the camera. Um, I didn't set out to want to do content, and I don't think I do. I don't know if I want to make content now. I've been asked to do it. I don't know if I want to make content now because I know the time, the commitment that with you guys that make this content, you got to come up with the content, you got to edit the content, you got to put the content out on a regular basis to keep your viewership. So anybody that doesn't know what you do don't understand how much work goes into it. They just see these little episodes and don't realize all the stuff you have to do behind the scenes to put this episode out. They don't get that. I don't know if I want to be If I have that kind of time, I own a food business. I own a food truck, New York City hot wings. Everybody on the set in New York City knows me. People in Connecticut, we do events in Connecticut all the time. They know us too. Um, I don't know if I want to be a content creator. I started out putting information out on Facebook because one, I have a following. Two, everybody knows me. Three, I got tired of seeing people do stuff the wrong way on the set. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were having a conversation, and I said I can't blame them if no one has shown them the right way. For me, putting a diamond on one of the things for me, putting a diamond on meant is that I have a responsibility to teach the people behind me that don't know the right way to do things. Right? Putting a diamond on for me carries there's a few responsibilities I felt I had. So I said, let me start putting stuff out on Facebook as tidbits for people that don't know, because there's new clubs popping up all the time. When riding season starts for certain people in a month or so, 2 months, you're gonna see tons of shiny patches that you never saw before. Because all winter long, somebody's can't come up with this great idea about how to start a club. Hey, I want to start a club, right? And they're doing it. They went and got patches sewn on down at BQ Sports in Brooklyn. They bought some cuts. They're gonna put the patches on their cuts, and you're gonna see them this summer, right? They have no clue as to what they're doing. How can I get mad at them if nobody's shown them the right way? So the same way somebody taught me is the same way I feel obligated to teach other people. It's not because I want the attention. It's not because I want to put club business out there. It's the information I share is not club business. It's common protocol. You can Google it.
Yeah, but
So
you
that
know how you were in that first club, right? And
right,
you really were green, right? And then
right.
you go to the next club and you learn yourself. Do you think you putting that information out there kind of cuts corners for people so they don't have to learn it for themselves?
Well,
Or you
the
just
fun
go ahead.
the funny thing about me is not everybody is as outgoing as I am. I again was heavily involved in music when I was younger. I've done TV shows that you'd probably know of. I was a cast member in TV shows, so I'm a very outgoing person. I'm always in front of the camera or in front of whatever. A lot of people aren't like that. I have no problem going up to somebody I don't know and speaking to them. Most people don't won't do that. They're afraid. I have no fear of doing that. I'm talking to you. I never met you in my life. We're having a conversation. Most people would be shy. Most people would be they'd be withdrawn. I'm not that kind of person. So it's not that I understand that again, most people aren't like that. So here, let me help you. Let me give you the head start so you don't have to do what I did. I would go to a clubhouse as an outlaw and see an older member of a rival, another, not a rival, but another outlaw club. And I would gladly ask him questions. This guy's clearly 80 years old and he's wearing XYZ cut from this club that's been around for 50 years. He's got to know some stuff. Let me go talk to him. And he'd teach me stuff. He'd tell me stuff, you know? So I feel obligated to take the stuff that he taught me and pass it on to someone else. It's not my information to keep. Somebody taught him. He's passing it on to me. I'm obligated to pass it on to the next generation. Or quite frankly, the MC community is as we know it is gonna die. But to answer your question, I'm just helping them do what I know they're afraid to do. Here, you're afraid to go approach a 1%er. Here, I'll tell you, I'll give you the information. That makes sense.
See, I think it's great that you're coming out and doing content because I want to know what are your thoughts on how the media portrays one percenters because I feel like they try to make the public scared of one percenters, and you being formerly in a 1% club, you could be the face of it to show people I'm just a normal person like you guys, but I just was a part of this club and this was my life, and you can show people that you're not this scary biker like the media portrays it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of people, and again, anything I say, I speak for myself. I don't speak for anybody else. A lot of people feel that when they put a patch on, that they have to act a part. I'm gonna be me, bro. I'm gonna be me I'm gonna be me with a patch, without a patch. I'm me. I'm not going to change who I am based on what I wear. I don't. The patch doesn't make me. I make the patch. I know that's a cliche saying. It's said a lot, but it's the truth. I'm not going to change for anybody. Again, I'm going to be me. So because I put a patch on, all of a sudden I need to be a boogeyman. I need to try to be a rough and tough guy because I got a patch on. I don't have to prove how rough and tough I am. My street credibility will tell you what I do. And being a tough guy, yeah, and I'm not a tough guy, I'm a regular guy, but again, I, I don't have to put a patch on and run around pretending I'm somebody I'm not. I am who I am. I'll get into altercations with a patch on, without a patch on. That's just because I come from the street. I come from the block. That has nothing to do with the patch. You got a lot of guys that put that patch on and all of a sudden want to be Superman. And I think that's where the stigma comes in, and that's where the idea that everybody that wears that diamond is all of a sudden a mean. Nah, bro. I mean, I can't speak for them. I can only speak for me. That's not who I am as a person. It wasn't who I was before the patch. It's not going to be who I am with the patch or after the patch. The patch doesn't make me. I'm a 1% without a diamond on my chest. So I think the media feeds into that. The media likes negativity. So if the media could pick up a negative story, people like negativity more than they like people that rescue puppies. That's just the media. Negativity sells. That's what the media does. So they're going to run with any negative narrative, and people play into that narrative.
Yeah.
Um, and that combined gives a negative image of. But one percenters, man, are like everybody else. The only difference to me is we live by code. We live outside of society's norms. We're not the same as everyone else. We don't feel inside, in our hearts, we don't feel that we identify with the regular Bob down the block. We're different. We feel different physically. We think different. We move different. Where society moves one way, we tend to move a different way. That's what it means for me. That's what that patch means. It tells you who I am. I already know who I am. The patch tells you who I am. It doesn't mean my attitude towards you is going to change. Respect gets respect, brother. You treat me with respect, and these are street rules. You treat me with respect, I treat you with the same respect you treat me. You come up and speak to me, shake my hand, I'm gonna shake your hand in return. You know what I'm saying? Patch ain't got nothing to do with that. For me, I lost you. I lost you. Uh,
Do you think there's a level of responsibility when you were wearing a patch in public to act a certain way or to carry yourself a certain way?
um, I think every member of a club has an obligation to represent that club in a positive light. Don't put the patch on, any patch, and run around acting like a dumbass, because that is a direct reflection of your brothers that have nothing to do with the fact that you're doing dumb shit. They didn't have a decision. You didn't call them and say, "Hey, Bob, I'm going to run out and do some dumb shit," did you? No, you didn't. So they shouldn't be the recipients of whatever that negativity is. They have nothing to do with that. So anytime you put a patch on, regardless of whether you're a Diamond Club holder, a 99% or an RC, a SC, you have an obligation to represent that patch correctly. You know what I'm saying? It's not only a 1%er, it's anybody. You 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 are representing not only your brothers, you're representing what that patch stands for. And I don't think there's any patch out there on any biker, and I'm any biker that stands for something negative. Everybody's patch, if there's a meaning behind it, I'm pretty sure I would go out on a limb to say there's a positive message behind that patch. It's people that turn it into something negative. People make it negative. The patch is the patch, brother. The patch is the patch. So represent that patch to the fullest. You're a member of that club 24/7, with a patch on or without a patch on. When I'm at work, I'm a member of the club. When I'm in church, I'm a member of the club. When I'm at dinner with my wife, I'm a member of the club, and I don't have a cut on. I'm obligated by my oath to that club, when I put that patch on, to carry myself with respect, honor, dignity, loyalty. That's just what I believe.
So what do you got planned for the future?
Man, the past couple of weeks since I started posting on Facebook, have been crazy for me. It started to really get crazy in the past couple of days. I did a podcast last week. I got hit up by Insane Throttle yesterday. I'll be talking to Hollywood tomorrow. I'm talking to you today. I got hit by Black Dragon this afternoon or last night. I got to contact him. Um, I don't know what I want to do. I'm thinking about going back to club life because I don't know if I want to be a content creator. There's a lot of people in this space, man, and I don't know if I want to go that route. I have no idea. Right now, I know I'm putting stuff out on Facebook that I hope people get something from. You know what I'm saying? I hope they learn something from what I'm putting out. Not that I'm the almighty God, because I'm not. I could be wrong. I'm sharing what I know. I'm sharing what I learned. If you learn something different, then you learn something different. Bring it to the table. So I don't want anybody to think that what I say is law. Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to do that. I'm up in the middle. Wifey doesn't want me to go back to a club. She's dead set against it. Um, but it's calling me. So I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle this week. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what
If
I'm gonna
you
do.
did go back to the club, would you still be making content? And would it be okay with
Um,
the club?
I can't speak for what a club would say. Some clubs is cool, some clubs is not. Most clubs, especially outlaw clubs, don't like the exposure. But that could be kind of hypocritical because there's a lot of major clubs that are all over social media. They're all over with movies, with clips, with their members speaking on certain platforms that I won't name, and so it depends on how that club viewed what I do. And then I'd have to weigh which one is more important to me, doing content or being a member of a club. You know what I'm saying? And when I get to that point, and I will get to that point, I will make a decision and move accordingly.
Times are changing, man.
Times are changing, brother. Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think there's plenty of room in the space for you.
That's what
You know,
that's funny you said that because who said that? I think Hollywood said that to me. He sent me a message or Black Dragon. No, Black Dragon picked up a clip of something I said on Facebook. I guess somebody sent it to him. I don't know how he got it. And he did a small segment on me and what I said. And he said, come on, there's plenty of room for all of us. So it's funny that you say that. He said the exact same thing, man. He said the exact same thing.
well, man, I look forward to seeing what you got going on in the future, and
I
you're always
appreciate you,
welcome
brother.
here. I appreciate you
Appreciate
taking
you,
the
brother.
time. Is there
You
anyone
already
you want to
know.
give a
Thank you for
shout out
having me.
to before we go?
Oh man, shout out to my wife, man. I mean, everybody besides her is everybody besides her, man. Shout out to G. I love her. Without her, none of this would be possible, man. She stands behind me in everything I do. Everything I do. Um, Other than that, man, everybody in the streets, the Bronx, New York, the tri-state, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, y'all know who I am. You know what I'm saying? New York City Hot Wings, my business. Yeah, you know what? I do want to shout out two people. You know what? Let me not do that. Let me not do that. I will. Phil Ocasio, man. Phil, the Supreme Pres of the Click Brotherhood. He's a good brother of mine, man. And we kick it a lot. We go back and forth about protocol and this, that, and the third. We argue sometimes on the phone for about an hour, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Doc in Connecticut. Yeah, I want to shout them out, man. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate you. Holla at your boy.
If
Peace.
you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too bad. Start your own podcast. Peace. Thanks, man.
Peace.